Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. I'm Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live from PTC 2026. That's right, Jeff. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this good-looking guy to my right is Mr. Jeff Denberg. Jeff is the Vice President of Sales at Q Data Centers. Jeff, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you very much.
And how's the show going for you?
It's been fantastic. Really busy. This is actually my first PTC. And
you seem like a veteran PTCer.
I am blown away just by the amount of conversations, the meetings, the interest, not only in what we're doing, but just the ecosystem. It's just a phenomenal week.
Ecosystem is a word that I'm hearing a lot on the floor today. But let's just jump right in. Some cool things going on at Q Data Centers. You recently acquired some former Rogers data center assets. What's going on with that? Tell us all about it.
So we acquired 9 sites from Rogers Communications, who decided to sell them off. Phenomenal foundational sites. Rogers Network, they did a great job operationally. Structurally, we're going to put some improvements into it.
Sure.
Right? We've got 49 megawatts overall available. We are going to be building out capacity where it makes sense. And we are focusing on a really good, healthy base of 750 customers that we're going to go in and expose new use cases and new opportunities with, especially with everything that's going on in the industry. They need to be paid attention to, and we have a great foundation to serve them with.
I love it. Here's a question I haven't really gotten into with many folks in the hot seat recently. Positioning sovereign infrastructure as a competitive differentiator.
Absolutely.
I would say that I've never spoken to anybody about that subject. Tell us all about it.
Well, so with maybe not to get too political, but with some of the current headwinds that are going on in certain parts of the world, that kind of gives a bit of a tailwind to us in Canada,
of course.
Right? Driving sovereignty, data protection, customers that want to have data domiciled in Canada with really no access by maybe foreign actors is a really good approach for us, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of interest in this Canadian sovereign play. And frankly, we have a great foundation to provide that security, compliance, and a really good foundation to serve these customers, to give them the protection for the data that they need.
Brilliant. You're doing exactly, you're doing for your customers what you suspect that they're probably going to want from you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I love it. Let's talk about time to power. This is something that we are talking a bit about. Let's Q Power or Q Data Centers play in the time to power conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's a power crunch going on in the country right now.
Yeah.
Our competitors, who are phenomenal people, have a lot of great aspirational plans to build, and those are years out. We have available power today. So for customers that are looking to get a quick time and to return, we are able to help them today and solve for that need, right? So it's part of our propositions to go out there and communicate what we have and make sure that people are understanding that there's the opportunity to do, whether it's edge computing, inference with us, because we have available capacity today.
Well, that isn't something I'm hearing a lot about either.
No.
So, Jeff, congratulations, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
Thank you.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. Here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Data center marketing isn't about ranking websites anymore. It's about being selected by AI. AI-powered search doesn't give people 10 links to choose from. It gives them one synthesized answer, and that answer is built from brands AI already trusts. So the real question isn't, how do we rank higher? It's, why should AI choose us to explain this? If your visibility strategy still relies on traditional SEOs, paid ads, one-off PR hits, you're already behind. This shift is redefining what effective data center marketing looks like going forward. The operators who win aren't the loudest. They're the clearest, most consistent, and most trusted. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. For years now, data center marketing was built around keywords, backlinks, and rankings. That era, my friend, is ending. AI search engines don't crawl content the way Google used to. They consume it. They extract definitions. They reuse explanations. They quote experts. If your content isn't structured clearly enough for AI to lift it directly into an answer, it won't surface, and your brand could disappear. This is where many data center marketing strategies are starting to break down, and that is why we talk about generative engine optimization, GEO, not just SEO. Clarity isn't just good communication anymore. It's a competitive advantage. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time. And this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure space. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right. We are coming at you live from PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this good-looking guy to my right probably needs no introduction, but I'll give you one anyway. This is Jeff Ferry. Jeff is the partner and head of digital infrastructure at Safanad. Jeff, welcome as always to JSA TV.
Great to be here. Great to be with you. Great to be at PTC as always. Right, hard to beat it.
Yeah, right. And
great way to start off the year.
Show's going well for you.
Fantastic. It's a lot of good meetings. As I just talked to you, I have a set schedule, and then I have like probably 30 10-minute meetings in which I bump into this person and that person. So it's a great place. I mean, as you can see, it's been very active. Right. I think their attendance is up like
35% is what I heard last.
And that's just the registered attendance. There's a lot of other people hanging around the edges and fringes. So very active, very, fantastic conversations, right? I mean, it's just a great place to start off the year. I touch all the folks that, we need to talk to and find out all the opportunities as I'm, kind of investigating a lot of new opportunities in the new role I have with Safanad. Right?
Jeff, thanks for that segue, man.
With you, man. I found this.
I appreciate that very much. So, Jeff, you are in fact in a new role. But before we get into that, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about your past experience, where you're coming from, and then we'll jump right into that new role.
Yeah, it's great. So for a long time I was at Goldman Sachs in their specialty lending group. I focused on almost the entire time I was there, probably since 2004, in the TMT space, but specifically in digital and in data centers, right? And so we were lending to and investing in data centers before it was cool. Way before it was cool. So in a lot of things in the U.S. that we expanded. Beyond the U.S. and the borders, we were, in Canada, we were in Australia, we had a lot of Europe, we had a platform in Moscow. Prior to leaving, I invested in, LEA data centers, in which we've talked about before, right? In Brazil, I've been on here before talking about Rio AI City, all the good things.
One of my favorite projects. Every time
those things led me to, my background is always in investing with, with Goldman. I left Goldman 3 years ago, but then I continued in the industry, still working with ALEA, working on other projects with other teams around the world. And so domestically, a lot of land and power, stuff that's going on in the U.S. Internationally, working with, kind of groups on, similar land and power, but working with partners, developers, the end users, right, NVIDIA's, the hyperscalers of the world, on trying to, what NVIDIA talks about, activate more, GPUs. Right. And so that's projects that we're looking at, and then now that I'm in my seat with Safanad, I work closely with the Element Critical team in the U.S., in which we have really good assets in Houston and Austin, great management team with the ability to scale. Right now we have we are actively looking for, a lot of new assets, right? And so new opportunities in the enterprise co-location space that can grow into, the neo clouds and local, kind of cloud, regions that we expect to happen, right? Which I think we all expect inference to be the next wave, where it's like, 10, 20 megawatts in a region. It's got to be more, kind of latency sensitive. So we want to kind of position the platform, and so we have that in Houston and Austin. We're going to find other assets in other parts of the, in say the Atlantas and Chicago's and kind of primary and secondary markets to be able to kind of activate more GPUs, right? And build our business, right? So I spend a lot of time with that team. You're going to have Ken on next, probably talk more about EC.
No,
and then we can talk about the industry, right? And then I'm looking at, for Safanad, we're going to be looking at international opportunities, right? Safanad is KSA, Saudi Arabia based. We have offices in Riyadh, we have offices in Dubai and New York. And, we're going to start looking for things that fit, a certain schematic. And so, certainly saw, KSA, the Middle East region is going to be a target. I've been looking at projects, kind of all around the world. And so we'll tee those up as possible opportunities to kind of work with really good developers in those countries, really good operators, and then, the end user or off taker, right? The three important parts of like when you're trying to do investing, especially in a foreign market, right? You got to find really good partners, really good opportunities, and you got to have the right, customer base. So
I love it, Jeff. And honestly, Safanad probably was just like, that's our guy. Let's go get this guy. So congratulations to you.
It was a fun process to get to meet them, to know them. They have a deep background in kind of real estate, education. They've had the investment in Element Critical, but I'm here to kind of help that team, kind of build it. We have a great infrastructure in place. We have great assets. We need to build, in those markets. I think we're going to look for more opportunities in Austin, in Houston. And then we're going to find the new markets I just talked about, so we can give that team more ammunition to play with, right? And then we're going to find similar teams, internationally, and deploy capital for our investor base as we have it in, right? So I think it was announced in the fall. We have a great investor base in Element Critical now, 26 North, Arctos, and Mercuria, which is a very interesting team that I'm excited to kind of, I've met the guy, I met the team.
A huge announcement just at the end of last year.
I'm excited to work with them to not only build this platform, but talk about other opportunities that are going to be, that will surface very quickly.
Well, let's talk about opportunities then. From an investment standpoint, based on, on your experience, where do you think things are going over the next year, maybe 18, 24 months down the road?
Yeah, so you see a lot of, like in the U.S., right? I mean, what's interesting, people never knew what data centers were, right? And now if you pick up the local paper, watch the local news, they're talking about data centers, talking about power.
And a lot of times incorrectly.
Well, incorrectly, but they're talking about how it impacts prices, right?
Yeah.
And so I think a little bit of the industry is going to be education of like, what's really going on the grid, behind the grid, et cetera. That's more PR stuff, right? But from an investing standpoint, there are, still opportunities in the U.S. to kind of expand, reposition assets and make sure we can still grow, right? So my focus is I want to see markets that we can buy, maybe existing assets with enterprise customers, sell leasebacks, situations that we can get involved in. But we want those situations to be where we can grow that platform, right? So we have land or adjacent land, or we have other opportunities to grow power. Power is the number one question today, right? How much, how soon, how can I access, and what does it cost, right? And so as I talked about with, like Rio AI City, right? That's like a home run for Aaliyah, where I'm on the board, because they've found all those things, right? Great city, great connectivity, plenty of land, plenty of power, the right partners, and so that project is, exciting. But there's going to be other projects like that all around the world, right? I've found, and I've worked on projects. Paraguay is interesting, right? We don't have a customer base that wants to go there, but very cheap power, tons of power, right? And so I think you're going to find these pockets of available power, and in stable environments, stable economies where, but ultimately it doesn't really matter if I find that. The customer base has to be wanting to go there, right?
For sure.
I can find cheap power and stuff, but if they don't want to go in, certain areas, then I can't force that issue, right? I have to be reactive and I want to be proactive, but in most cases you have to be reactive to what they want, where they want to be, right?
100%.
But you have to be you have to have it teed up.
You have to be ready to go.
And so
sure.
that's
so the plenty of power is the issue.
Yeah. So that's the goal, right? We want to position the EC platform in the U.S. to be reactive to the customer requests and the customer need, to be able to grow more in Houston, grow more in Austin, grow more in other markets, and acquire new customers that want that same capability in Chicago, in Atlanta, in Minneapolis, in wherever, right? I don't have a pin board of saying I need to be there, and there. Yeah. I need to be where my customer wants to be, or where I think there's plenty of capacity and capabilities. And so we, the team, Steve, Ken, Shane, the sales team, we take our direction from the customer base, right? We don't just say, hey, here's my list, right? And because they're going to say, yeah, I'm not interested, right? So they spend a great deal of time with the team, with the customer base, and it's a collaborative sales process, right? That same thing's happening around the world, right? I can't force people to go in Paraguay, or I can't force people to go in Brazil, or I can't force people to go like other projects, Vietnam, Malaysia.
But if that critical
India,
mass of customers are there,
it will be, right?
Yeah.
I've worked on projects, and the things I'm going to be working on at Safanad, right, internationally, will be things I've been working on throughout this time, where I've built relationships where we know the players, right? You have to, and once I talked about it before, right? You have to have a local player, and a very credible, trustworthy, dependable, like local player, like we have in Aaliyah with Alessandro and his team, right? Sure. Fantastic management team, great people, and that's why that's going to be successful, right? We have to replicate that thing. I want to replicate that in 3 or 4 other markets internationally, start a platform, find good local partners, find good off-takers, and build a platform.
So let's talk about that customer. I know we're going to just go off script here, but I
always go off script.
It's been a while.
We've done this 2 or 3 times. Yeah. I'm on script for like 2 minutes.
No, same. And that's what I like about this. But you mentioned the enterprise a few times during this conversation, and not a lot of folks are sitting here and saying, hey, let's not forget about the enterprise. But you are.
It's fantastic, right? And so, listen, there is a reason why some of the platforms, in the U.S., very successful platforms, they have been focused on and chasing what I would call the hyperscale or single tenant.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Build the suit, single tenant. It's a very efficient process, right? And there are benefits to that, right? But I think our focus is, listen, there is a they're not forgotten, but there's a gap in the activity and the ability to service that enterprise client, because the enterprise client still has their needs. We expect that over time, and we have some customers that need will be AI focused, right? So it's not like every AI, and GPU is going to be going into a Microsoft or Amazon or Google or Neo Cloud facility and then being used, right? And so over time, those big corporate users, right? Big energy users, big governments, big thing, they're going to then be able to acquire GPUs and acquire high-end compute, right? Or they're going to need storage, and they're going to need something to be able to compute,
or just someone to say, this is how it works.
Right. And so those companies will still want to maintain control over, banks want to maintain control over their assets, right? Governments want to maintain. Now, they don't want to own data centers. Like before, banks would own data centers, government. Like, I think it's transitioned to where they don't want to necessarily own the real estate or own the digital infrastructure, but they want control over their assets, right? And so that's what the team is focused on. We have very good clients. We're developing new clients. And those clients are going to help grow the business and help, and the customer base that is like AI focused and some of the software companies, they actually want that collection of, customers, right? So we're going to be able to kind of like position that and then say, listen, cloud, like look at the customer base I have in Chicago or I have it now in Houston and Austin. They're going to be closer to that, right? So maybe we set up network nodes for some of the cloud guys, or maybe we set up smaller deployments for some of the AI guys so they can be close to the action.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's like, we like that customer base, right? That customer base has been, has been not been ignored, but the focus and the capital has been like chasing the big deals.
That's right.
I understand that. And I participated into it. Sure. And it's not a bad business, but I think the co-location, the data center, the digital infrastructure business has many prongs, right? And each of them have benefits. And I think we want to pursue those benefits. We want to invest in it, and we want to be able to deliver that, kind of to our customer base and grow that customer base.
Jeff, it is always a pleasure to see you, man.
Fun. It's always good to be here. You guys do a great job. great team, and so look forward to probably our next conversation someplace soon.
I do too, Jeff. Thanks so much, and
All right.
congratulations
Fantastic.
to you. Yeah.
Thanks.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
Thanks.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing 2026. As AI-powered search becomes the primary way people discover companies, data center marketing has shifted from trying to rank higher to earning trust and visibility over time. Today, it's not about one channel or one tactic. It's about showing up consistently with clear messaging, credible expertise, and third-party validation in the places AI and decision makers rely on. At JSA, we've spent more than 21 years working alongside the data center community, helping operators tell their story through industry change, growth cycles, and now this AI-driven era. What we see again and again is this: the companies that win are not chasing algorithms. They're building authority, clarity, and consistency. So if you want to talk through how your data center marketing strategy shows up in this AI-driven discovery, reach out to JSA. We'd love to brainstorm with you.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders like this guy to my right, from within the digital infrastructure space. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Ken. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And as I mentioned, this good-looking guy to my right is Mr. Ken Parent. Ken is the CEO of Element Critical. Ken, welcome as always.
Thank
to
you.
JSA TV.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again. Been doing this for a few years, so it's always a good time.
It is always a good time, and it's
Yeah.
great to see you, sir.
Thank you.
How's the show going for you?
Quite busy. As we talked about, it's getting towards the end, which is always a good sign. 'Cause it's a quite busy time for 3 days. So
I'm
been very, very good.
I'm
Very
hearing
good.
things like there's a 35% increase in attendees this year. So
You can see it in the hotels for sure.
You
no
can
matter
see-
where you go down there, they're full of people that look like us. So
Yeah, that's it.
and not look like tourists.
That's exactly right. Everyone's got a logo somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
But look, Ken, let's just jump right in. Lots of really, really interesting things coming out of the Element Critical newsroom. Some investment, some new hires. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about it?
Yeah, we definitely brought in some more talent. I mean, this has been a platform that has been built to scale for a while. All it really needed was significant capital backing, and we got that. So we did that deal 3 or 4 months ago. Announced it in December, and we now have a very deep-pocketed pool of investors who are eager to grow this platform. And I couldn't be more excited because where the industry is going, and enterprise colocation, which is our spot, right? Bigger demands. So we're seeing, our footprints and our power demands grow as well. So having, folks that have that kind of capital, and it's not just the capital, they bring infrastructure experience, they bring a lot of energy experience, especially through a group like Mercuria, which is not only an energy trader, but in the production owns hard assets and growing in the States. So a lot of good strategy coming out of those strategic reasons for having those guys as partners beyond the deep pockets.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's kind of a who's who across kind of the ecosystem of investment. So a lot of big brains at
smart guys.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that one. They're very smart.
Yeah. So you mentioned footprint expansion plans. What's on the horizon for Element Critical?
Well, we have in this new platform, we have our 2 Texas assets, which is Austin and Houston, and we're getting pretty close to being sold out of both of those. So we want to expand our operations in those 2 cities. Houston, we have another land site that we can develop another significant data center. Houston 1 is a fairly large data center. We have a big data hall that we're selling into right now. We have multiple off-takers that are competing to get that space. It's good to be in that position. It was designed
when they're competing for it, that's a good sign.
It was designed to be a 4.5 megawatt data hall. It's going to grow. So, and that wasn't, our approach to this is to be very flexible because we want to be able to attract a large share of the market and the use cases. So we'll build something, 4.5 megawatts, but we know that we can take that up to, in a data hall, we know that we can take that up to 9, 12 megawatts. So it's going to be more towards that higher end, I believe. And in Austin, we're almost out of capacity. We sold out our new product there in data halls 3A and 4 and 3. We sold out 3 and 3A and 4.
Congratulations.
So we sold that out. We still have some capacity in 1 and 2, but we're getting kind of tight there. So we're looking to expand in that market as well. And obviously with this capital, it's not just those 2 markets, but it's a great place to start. Love to be in Texas. Texas, been business friendly forever. And, there's power availability, generally speaking, relative to the rest of the country. There's land costs is not too high, and you can actually find land, and there's just tremendous demand, and the power costs are reasonable. So it's a good place to start, but we want to be in significant major markets across the country. So
I love it. Congratulations on all of that. But you mentioned enterprise co-location. Let's spend a little bit of time there because, and especially as it relates to AI, no one leaves the JSA TV hot seat without talking a little bit about AI. But what's the intersection between enterprise co-location and kind of the AI maturation and what enterprises might be looking for from a co-location partner?
Well, so AI has been mostly about machine learning. It's certainly gotten into inference. But enterprise colocation operators like us traditionally reside in the edge in well-connected markets, major markets where people want to be. And that's where inference is coming to. Now, of course, where we need, and they need the connectivity, right? And they need the power availability, and they come in different sizes.
Yeah, connectivity isn't something that people often
it's
say,
huge.
But it's so important.
It's a huge part of the strategy. We're talking to some of the AI guys here, and they're bringing that up and have specific needs. And we're generally very well connected anyway. We can get to the carrier hotels in the various markets, and all of the cloud on ramps. So we're that's always been part of our kind of a strategy. But I mean these data centers have different requirements. The high density, the AI is high density, more power, more cooling, more challenging operating environment. So we got to be up to the snuff there, which we are. This is what we do day to day. We've been doing it quite well for many years, and so we're excited about it. And we're excited about the opportunity to to satisfy to solve those problems that the AI user has in a data center, and to create a nice environment for their machines and the people who operate them inside the data center. So
people, thanks for mentioning
that. There are people involved in this business. It's not all just servers and hardware and software. There are people.
Ken, it is always a pleasure to see you. Let's do this again soon, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time. And this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. AI doesn't think in pages anymore, guys. It thinks in entities. If AI can't clearly describe who you are and what you do in one sentence, you won't show up. This is one of the most overlooked fundamentals in data center marketing today. Your marketing needs to answer simple questions. Who are you? What type of operator are you? What do you specialize in? Why does it matter? Clarity wins every time. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. For years now, data center marketing was built around keywords, backlinks, and rankings. That era, my friend, is ending. AI search engines don't crawl content the way Google used to. They consume it. They extract definitions. They reuse explanations. They quote experts. If your content isn't structured clearly enough for AI to lift it directly into an answer, it won't surface, and your brand could disappear. This is where many data center marketing strategies are starting to break down, and that is why we talk about generative engine optimization, GEO, not just SEO. Clarity isn't just good communication anymore. It's a competitive advantage. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Your website can say anything. AI knows that. That's why earned media matters more than ever. AI engines trust third-party validation, trade publications, interviews, conference coverage, far more than self-published claims. Your website explains your story. Earned media confirms it. If your expertise only lives on your own site, AI treats it as unverified. And in an AI-driven world, PR isn't optional for data centers. It's fundamental to visibility.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Tito. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this good-looking guy to my right is Tito Costa. Tito is the CRO of Tecto Data Centers. Tito, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you very much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
It's great to see you. It's great to meet you. But first and foremost, tell us about the Alicia Keys concert last night.
Well, awesome. I mean, I had this opportunity. It was, tremendous. She was just over there, and yeah,
That's
for us,
cool.
it's a great experience. Yeah.
The things that happen at PTC.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. No, I
Well,
know.
at least a little bit, because I can even put my feet in the water, as I was mentioning. People think like, you're in Honolulu. I'm sure you're at the beach. No, I'm not. We are working crazy.
I didn't get to the ocean, but I did get to see. But
Alicia Keys,
But
yeah.
I did get within arm's distance of Alicia Keys.
There you go. At least I got something out of it.
Okay. Well, anyway, I actually have questions for you. I just wanted
Please,
to ask.
go
So,
ahead.
okay, look, you all just announced a $1 billion with a B investment across Brazil, an expansion investment. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Tecto is a big data center platform out of Latin America. We have data centers operational in Colombia and in Brazil. We did this huge investment, which is across our platform to grow our platform, answering to all this demand that we are seeing from global AI training facilities all the way up to inferencing facilities. So this investment goes towards 200 megawatt facility in São Paulo, 20 megawatt facilities in Porto Alegre, in Rio, in Fortaleza, Belém, and Recife. So it's a huge investment. I mean, we are preparing ourselves for this big move and big push that AI is going global. And in Brazil, we can definitely absorb part of it.
Absolutely, and a $1 billion investment. That's a good start on
It's a big number.
and on making it all happen. But speaking of big, 2 words for you: mega lobster. Tell me all about that.
Yeah, so that's our old name. I would say we used to call Big Lobster, and then we launched the 20, and this was a 4 megawatt facility, and now we launched the 20 megawatt facility that we called Mega Lobster. And I mean, we will begin to get out of names, so we thought,
you guys are a fun group over there, aren't you?
let's put numbers, and then Mega Lobster now is called T43. Our third facility in Fortaleza, which is this 20 megawatt facility that I was mentioning about. Together with our sister company, which is Vital, we just launched also a submarine cable system connecting São Paulo, Fortaleza in the US. So all this investment together will position Brazil as a place where you can land your infrastructure, either inference or actually training facilities as well, with the capacity to connect those two continents with our submarine cable capacity and all of our 500,000 kilometers of backhaul that we have in Brazil. So huge investment. I mean, getting ready for all this AI deployments that we are keen to see happening in Brazil. And Brazil has a ton of renewable energy going on. We'll talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see what happens in this year. I'm super pumped with this 2026 year coming. I mean, meetings here were phenomenal. There is a lot of pent-up demand in the US and worldwide that we can absorb easily in Brazil.
I love it. And I absolutely love the next question. You teased it a little bit.
Yep.
One of the things that we don't often hear about when we're talking about this kind of investment in AI and the future and these kinds of densities and the amount of heat and the amount of energy and water and cooling and electricity and all of these kinds of things, we're not talking so much about the renewable and the clean energy. But in LATAM, you all are talking about that a lot more than maybe some other areas of the country, and Tecto is in the middle of that conversation. Tell us about that.
It is. So Brazil, first and foremost, Brazil is 90% almost of the power in Brazil comes from renewable sources, 55% from hydro, and then a lot from wind and solar farms as well. So for us in Brazil, it's whenever people are debating what's going on, carbon footprint and whatever. I mean, for us in Brazil, this doesn't exist.
Yeah,
we have green energy in Brazil, a lot of curtailment going on. So all those generation facilities, they are, looking for those big customers to actually absorb that. And the good thing about the curtailment that we have in Brazil is that our tariffs are super small.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get 5 cents of a dollar, 6 cents of a dollar easily in Brazil, and can go as low as 3.5 cents of a dollar per kilowatt hour, 100% renewable. I'm sorry, but that's something. I mean, you can find.
Nobody has sat there and said those words in succession since I've been here. That's fantastic.
And on top of that, all of our architecture in our data centers don't consume water whatsoever. We use closed system chillers, so all the water that we consume in our data centers are as much as a family of 2 people per day. We consume 7 liters of water per day to chill a 20 megawatt facility. So that's the kind of technology that we brought to the table in our platform, across the platform actually, and we are building our next generation of data centers with. So I'm super pumped with it. I mean, being able to absorb those kind of demands and being 100% green, that's definitely something that we are proud of ourselves about.
I mean, that's the sweet spot,
right?
I mean, that's what everyone else at least says that they're looking to achieve,
and not surcharging anybody for it.
Yeah. Tito, always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and 2026 is looking real bright for you guys.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time, and this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure space. I'm Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Dermot. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this good-looking guy to my right is Dermot Callahan. Dermot is the Senior Vice President of Data Center Strategy at Beacon Data Centers. Dermot, welcome to JSA TV.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
A bit tired, to be honest.
Yeah, no, me too, dude.
It's been one of those weeks where it's 12-hour days, morning to evening, and but it's been a lot of fun. Like a lot of great conversations with industry professionals, with customers, learning of new trends, what's happening. So it's been a real fruitful week for us. So.
Is this your first PTC?
My sixth.
So you're a veteran of this.
A bit of a veteran, but it keeps growing, right?
I heard something like 35% larger than last year alone.
It's phenomenal, and it's fantastic what the conference does, and the industry is growing, and it's a lot of new faces, so it's really exciting.
So thank you. Yeah, no, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that too. I'm getting on a flight at 6 p.m. Tonight, and I land at 6 a.m. tomorrow in Chicago.
Okay.
So hopefully I'll find some time to sleep on the plane. But Dermot, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you give us a quick intro to Beacon?
Yeah, so we're a relatively new platform. We were founded about 2 years ago. Our heritage is Alberta in Canada. Mm-hmm. We went there mainly because energy is becoming a constraint all around the world, and Alberta is has a lot of more richer natural resources than most places in North America. So founded there about 2 years ago, and since then we've been fortunate to grow into a North American platform. So growing from Alberta all the way through to Texas, Alabama, coast to coast, from California all the way through to Ohio area. So really cool growth story, and we're really excited what we have in the pipeline.
That's cool. It's like Alabama by way of Canada. That's an interesting concept. Actually.
Well, we're a bunch of Irish guys, so we
Irish
like
guys
to travel
in Canada going to Alabama. Yeah. You guys are everywhere.
We go where we can, so it's
I like it. And what I like, I'll let you talk about it. Energy integrated approach. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, and we've seen this a lot from Europe, right, where energy was becoming more constrained, and then we've seen it peripherally into North America, right? So our approach is really, we look at not just the grid, but also the natural resources with gas. So we're able to put together a integrated power solution first, so allows our clients to ramp up faster while we wait for the integration with the grid to happen, in 3, 5, 10 years time. Yeah. So it really allows the speed to market for our customers, gets them up and running first, and then we can switch over to grid, which they all want. So for us, it's really cool and innovative solution that a lot of our customers like. So.
Tackling that challenge as part of your kind of like upfront strategy from the jump seems to be the sweet spot.
Seems to be the sweet spot, and we hear more and more of our clients that their gas wasn't on the menu a couple of years ago, but it's starting to become more prevalent and acceptable, and there's ways to decarbonize it too. So, a lot of our sites have the decarbonized solution, which we're really proud of too. So, sustainability aspect is a key part of Beacon Data Centers. That's the forefront of our mantra. So, being able to decarbonize carbon capture aspects of our sites, and it really helps the world as well. So we're pretty happy.
Yeah, it's funny. We're going to go off script.
Oh, we're off script already.
I feel like you're okay with this, right? But like, it feels like maybe 2-3 years ago, up here where everyone was just like, "Oh, nuclear is the future," right? Mm-hmm. And then you had on the other side, you have the grid is antiquated; it's never going to happen. And we were always talking about that. But there are these kind of incremental things 100%. That could and should have happened. Yeah. And with regard to natural gas and renewables and the grid and all of these other things, it sounds like you guys are really tackling that problem as part of like the only way to get it done in any meaningful fashion.
100%. And we have another thing in Beacon where we like to say, like, we like the hard problems. Like, we lean into those hard problems and we try to solve them, whether or not with community aspect, with the regulations, with the regulators, with the midstreamers for the gas, with the grid operators. So like, we lean into these hard problems, and that's how we find our best work.
Yeah, and you mentioned a lot of the challenges that I feel like that's like the community challenge is probably a separate conversation for us to have at a later date.
Oh, we could go a long way for that.
And we will talk about that. But 5 to 10 years down the road, get out the crystal ball. Yeah, Dermot, tell us what are you going to see? What are we going to see? From Beacon or from within across the industry?
Well, I think, we're going to create way more data than the world's ever seen, right? So these models are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're going to see a shift from, everybody says, shift from training to inference, and that's going to be a big thing where, people want to, they're more power hungry. Right? Everybody's got a cell phone, everybody's got a Mac, everybody's got whatever they got, right? So everybody's going to need more data. Data's going to be key. So for us, from a data center developer point of view, I think the key winners are going to be people who can work with the community up front, bring them along the journey with us in a meaningful manner, and then we can show what we're going to give back to the community. Those who are able to seamlessly integrate power with compute in a meaningful manner, so scaling up, and we talked a bit about how we do integrated power solution with natural gas, with grid, with nuclear in the future.
Probably an easier conversation to have with the community with doing it the way that you guys are doing it
up front, and we've had a lot of success. We've had 100% success rate in permitting on our sites with the
100% is pretty good. Huh?
We've and knock on wood, we've done really well. And then I think finally, from the customer point of view, is being flexible, right?
Yeah,
having flexible options for them. And the key for us is delivering on our timelines. There's a lot of people offering a lot of things, and supply chains are getting tighter. Skilled labor is getting really tough. So how do you overcome those? And I think people like Beacon, I feel we're well positioned to deal with those hard problems, and we're pushing boundaries where we can ensure our customers get what they want when they want it, when we say they're going to get it.
It sounds like you're doing a lot of things right.
Well, we're trying.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You bet. You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing 2026. As AI-powered search becomes the primary way people discover companies, data center marketing has shifted from trying to rank higher to earning trust and visibility over time. Today, it's not about one channel or one tactic. It's about showing up consistently with clear messaging, credible expertise, and third-party validation in the places AI and decision makers rely on. At JSA, we've spent more than 21 years working alongside the data center community, helping operators tell their story through industry change, growth cycles, and now this AI-driven era. What we see again and again is this: the companies that win are not chasing algorithms. They're building authority, clarity, and consistency. So if you want to talk through how your data center marketing strategy shows up in this AI-driven discovery, reach out to JSA. We'd love to brainstorm with you. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Your website can say anything. AI knows that. That's why earned media matters more than ever. AI engines trust third-party validation, trade publications, interviews, conference coverage, far more than self-published claims. Your website explains your story. Earned media confirms it. If your expertise only lives on your own site, AI treats it as unverified. And in an AI-driven world, PR isn't optional for data centers. It's fundamental to visibility. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. AI doesn't think in pages anymore, guys. It thinks in entities. If AI can't clearly describe who you are and what you do in one sentence, you won't show up. This is one of the most overlooked fundamentals in data center marketing today. Your marketing needs to answer simple questions. Who are you? What type of operator are you? What do you specialize in? Why does it matter? Clarity wins every time. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time. And this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders like this good-looking guy to my right from within the digital infrastructure space. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Mike. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. I have not yet put my toes in the ocean. I fly out to Chicago tonight. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance. But you, however, are going to spend a little bit of time on the islands. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, like anybody should. You should extend a little bit if you can, right?
Yeah, that's it. And for what it's worth, this guy to my right is Mike Wynn. Mike is the CEO of Inflect. Mike, as always, it was great talking to you last year. It's great talking to you already today. How's the show going for you?
Wild. I think
it is wild.
It feels like it's 100% more well attended.
I'm hearing 35%, but it feels like it could be 100%.
Yeah. A lot of new folks, and a lot of new faces. It's becoming a data center show. It feels like in some ways.
Yeah, like a data center show with all of these kind of ancillary, this ancillary ecosystem that is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in support of the digital infrastructure, the data center industry. But let's jump into some things at Inflect. So some. A great 2025 for you guys. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was an interesting year. It was it's like the best of times and the worst of times. You know? Challenging, I think, in terms of some of the stuff we talked about last year with tariffs and things like that. That's changed up all of our strategies in the first half of the year. So a lot of deals we had going ended up getting redirected, delayed, whatever, right? But the good news is, AI is booming. The huge wave, as we all know. I'm actually very bullish on it. I tend to be bearish on things like this, and having gone through the .com bubble bursts, multiple crypto winters.
You heard it. You heard it first here, JSA TV watchers.
I look like I'm 25, but not really.
I feel like I'm 80. You do look like you're 25. That's okay.
But it was a great year. We transacted several hundred megawatts of capacity globally for some big names out there. So that was despite the challenges, the demand was there. We learned a lot, and I think 2025 was because of the challenges, we learned a lot more about the process of doing deals, especially on the data center side. But then on the network side, that's coming soon. It's not just about training models in a giant data center. It's going to be edge deployments very, very soon.
Yeah,
we're seeing demand starting to shift. I wouldn't say shift, actually, additional focus into Asia, into LATAM, certain parts of Africa, South Asia. Right.
Yeah.
Last year. It was the seeds were sprouting, but now we're starting to see deal flow.
Well, let's go there. What do you think we're going to see in 2026, and let's just say even beyond?
I think the enterprise adoption, but also from a country perspective, right? So sovereignty perspective, like sovereign clouds are starting to take foot. So I think as more and more use cases come out for AI, and I hear a lot who's making money? Everyone is actually. you're using AI and you don't even know it. Right,
Yeah.
it's part and parcel of your banking apps and your travel apps and whatever, your messaging apps. You don't
Such
even
a
know
good
it,
point.
right?
Such a good point.
And you're getting little upticks in what those apps cost, right?
Yeah.
So you are using it. People are making money with it. And as we all get used to it and our apps get bigger and better, well, you need more and more infrastructure. So I think that becomes a big global play. Inferencing is going to be front and center for us, for the industry. But, still, the foundation models are being trained. All the hyperscalers are still very active, through their partners and themselves directly. So it's going to be a great year.
I'm going to go back. You knew we were going to do this. Something that you said made so much sense, and no one has sat in that chair and actually said it. I think a lot of times when we think about kind of AI and the applications, everybody is thinking like the most public or the sexiest of the applications with AI. And sure, those are coming in some of those applications. But to your point, we're actually using it, many of us, without even realizing it. And so the use cases are there, and many of us don't even realize it.
That's it. I mean, it's kind of like the adoption of the internet, right? So the .com era, all these great apps came out, just like Webvan, stuff like that, right? That ultimately became like Postmates and all these sorts of things, and it was constrained by the internet. Remember, a lot of us had to dial up, so you literally had to go click a button.
I remember,
your connection gets lost or whatever, and all of a sudden it became ubiquitous. Well, AI is the same thing. You don't actually have to actively go to ChatGPT or whatever to do a search or use a tool. It just happens.
Yeah.
And that's the part I think people are really missing.
Yeah.
Is when it becomes just part of our life, that means it's not going away.
Yeah.
It's now an expectation
Yeah.
that things will operate a certain way, which means then that for the infrastructure, for that to work in a way that you don't notice it, infrastructure has to be there.
You're the first person to say that, and this is Wednesday. This is the Wednesday before we're all going
Bringing
home.
up the rear, right?
So I like that. I like that very much. So what's ahead for Inflect?
No, I think for us, we've been we have a long view of things. But we operate on the knife's edge a lot, so we can pivot. But we've been planning for this moment for quite a while. So our own tool set. So we have a marketplace and advisory. It's been a lot of advisory, but out of those learnings, you build more into the products, the Expedia, Airbnb of this industry. Well, the tools we've built, including Winston, our AI agent, are getting better at solving problems. So again, this is
Winston.
not,
That's the name. I know.
Winston,
I remember that from last year.
Yeah, it solves problems. Like Winston
love
Wolf,
it.
man.
I love Winston. Yeah.
So it's growing. It's learning. It's Winston's available 24/7. Speaks 50 plus languages. Right. Engaging the end users as they're trying to solve a problem, which then creates opportunities for the rest of our community here in terms of data center, colo, cloud, whatever it is. So we see that really starting to take off. Our opportunity flow has grown double digits every single month for the last 6 months, and it's continually grow. So we know the demand is there.
Yeah.
We know that we're onto something with the way the companies want to buy. So the go-to-market is changing. So that's really big for us. I think overall, as a part of the overall ecosystem, I think we're still going to expand. We're still going to grow. I think we are, at the very least, all of 2026 is going to be up and to the right, I think, across the board.
Yeah.
We might see some shakiness, I think, in the latter part to early part of 2027 when some of the really big projects come online. But right now, I can't see things ending in the short term.
I love it. I love it. Good things for good people, for good companies. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Dean.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time. And this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. AI doesn't think in pages anymore, guys. It thinks in entities. If AI can't clearly describe who you are and what you do in one sentence, you won't show up. This is one of the most overlooked fundamentals in data center marketing today. Your marketing needs to answer simple questions. Who are you? What type of operator are you? What do you specialize in? Why does it matter? Clarity wins every time. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. For years now, data center marketing was built around keywords, backlinks, and rankings. That era, my friend, is ending. AI search engines don't crawl content the way Google used to. They consume it. They extract definitions. They reuse explanations. They quote experts. If your content isn't structured clearly enough for AI to lift it directly into an answer, it won't surface, and your brand could disappear. This is where many data center marketing strategies are starting to break down, and that is why we talk about generative engine optimization, GEO, not just SEO. Clarity isn't just good communication anymore. It's a competitive advantage. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Your website can say anything. AI knows that. That's why earned media matters more than ever. AI engines trust third-party validation, trade publications, interviews, conference coverage, far more than self-published claims. Your website explains your story. Earned media confirms it. If your expertise only lives on your own site, AI treats it as unverified. And in an AI-driven world, PR isn't optional for data centers. It's fundamental to visibility. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. Here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Data center marketing isn't about ranking websites anymore. It's about being selected by AI. AI-powered search doesn't give people 10 links to choose from. It gives them one synthesized answer, and that answer is built from brands AI already trusts. So the real question isn't, how do we rank higher? It's, why should AI choose us to explain this? If your visibility strategy still relies on traditional SEOs, paid ads, one-off PR hits, you're already behind. This shift is redefining what effective data center marketing looks like going forward. The operators who win aren't the loudest. They're the clearest, most consistent, and most trusted. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. For years now, data center marketing was built around keywords, backlinks, and rankings. That era, my friend, is ending. AI search engines don't crawl content the way Google used to. They consume it. They extract definitions. They reuse explanations. They quote experts. If your content isn't structured clearly enough for AI to lift it directly into an answer, it won't surface, and your brand could disappear. This is where many data center marketing strategies are starting to break down, and that is why we talk about generative engine optimization, GEO, not just SEO. Clarity isn't just good communication anymore. It's a competitive advantage. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time. And this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. AI doesn't think in pages anymore, guys. It thinks in entities. If AI can't clearly describe who you are and what you do in one sentence, you won't show up. This is one of the most overlooked fundamentals in data center marketing today. Your marketing needs to answer simple questions. Who are you? What type of operator are you? What do you specialize in? Why does it matter? Clarity wins every time.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, we are live, Jeff, at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this good-looking guy to my right is Mr. Jeff Gilmore. Jeff is the VP of Sales and Marketing at Janitza. Jeff, welcome, as always, to JSA TV. You bet, you bet. How's the show going for you?
Very good, very good. Very busy. Great conversations. It's the best place to connect.
It really is the best place to connect, and it doesn't hurt that it's in Honolulu, Hawaii either.
It does not.
That's right. So let's just jump right in. Look, Janitza has been around a long time, over nearly 40 years, approximately.
Yep. This June.
So that staying power. there's got to be keys to getting that kind of longevity.
There is.
Let's talk about that.
Well, there's several keys, right? So the first one is we're privately held and family owned. So that family tradition of togetherness and making sure partners are treated like family, that's really is what keeps us, right? And then being in Germany, high quality engineering, and plus it's innovative, right?
Yeah.
Like they listen to customers. So when you have a relationship, you can have this conversation. You can tell them, you may not tell other vendors. So we have that ability to hear the real passion and needs, and we build that into our products and our services, right? So we deliver on a holistic approach, a whole solution.
So let's talk a little bit about, I mean, any company that has been around as long as Janitza has weathered a lot of innovative change and disruption. How is it that you are all navigating that and being perhaps, your relevance is only increased with time? How does that work?
It's exactly what I said before.
Yeah.
So when people have these changes, this anxiety, you always go to the people you trust.
Yeah.
Right? The people have bailed you out before. And when you do it time and time again, you earn a certain level of respect and trust, and that's what we have. And that keeps us going, right? And it actually helps fuel us, right? That change, that innovation drives us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about that innovation, because one of my favorite questions that we're going to tackle today is AI. Nobody gets out of the JSA hot seat without talking about AI. But AI data centers from construction to operations.
Yeah.
A lot of times we talk about operations as being like that's the sexy stuff, but like that doesn't happen without the construction. Tell us about which one of the two gets the short shrift here.
Well, operations typically gets the short end of the stick
Yeah.
because they get what's delivered to them.
Yeah.
And so that's where we like to come in, because with a lot of those challenges, we work with the operations team and say, what is your dream? What if you had the best meter, the best EPMS, the best data to help you run? Tell us what that is. And then when we go to the construction teams, we can say, hey, we've been talking to the operations team. You need to have this product. Again, they might specify a lesser product just because of price.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, price doesn't drive the operation, because 10 to 1, 100 to 1 construction operational costs.
Yeah.
We really help deliver the right solution for the operations team while trying to mitigate the cost on the construction side.
You guys really are like a people first, a very
Always.
uniquely consultative organization.
Yeah, that's exactly. We don't have sales engineers. We have sales consultants. Right? Because again, I sell solutions. I don't sell a widget. I sell a product that meets your needs. And again, there's a lot of people out there will sell you a meter. That yes, is the solution have a meter? Yes. What meter? What other services? Right, to get you a faster delivery that you need to get this done? Factory acceptance test to help. Pre-design help. So we are a people first solutions organization.
I love it. I can only imagine how AI and is ultimately impacting your ability to do the things that you have always done so well. Let's talk about that and how, and any pivots, or how is AI fundamentally changing the way that you are all getting business done?
Yeah. Well, so that's actually one of our core strengths. So we've seen this dynamic change, right? And being able to deliver solutions fast means you have flexible solutions. So our product is very much, hopefully it's not patent infringement of calling it Lego-like, right? You plug and play different pieces to get to the different customer solutions, right? So you may want this or you may want that. Our solutions are modular, flexible, and deploy fast, right? So I can't wait a long time to come up with a custom device.
Yeah.
So if I have all these different variables, I can plug in the pieces, deliver it quick, and then help you deliver it as well, right? To come up with the solutions and commissioning.
That speed to deployment thing is a challenge among challenges.
It is, absolutely.
What I'm seeing anyway, as somebody who has worked in the industry a while, the folks who address that challenge like right up front are able to say, this is what we're going to do. This is when we're going to do it. This is how quickly we're going to be able to do it for you.
Yep.
That's a winning solution.
Yep. And that's one of our first going in, because again, if speed to market is your fastest or most highest priority, operations may get a little shortchanged. But what we try to do is make sure we have a mix of solutions that have everything in it so that we can deliver fast.
And that modular kind of approach and mindset is how, I suspect that you're able to provide those kind of like uniquely Janitza solutions.
Absolutely. And every customer wants everything that's a little bit different. That's why we went to the modular solutions, because we can give you just whatever you need in the right mix, right? Oh, you wanted to monitor breakers? Oh, that's great. Oh, you want to breakers and maybe another trip unit. So our products, while we're there, help deliver the best solution as fast as possible.
I love it. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. You bet. And enjoy the rest of the show. Safe trips back and all that stuff.
You too. Thank you.
You bet. You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time, and this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. AI doesn't think in pages anymore, guys. It thinks in entities. If AI can't clearly describe who you are and what you do in one sentence, you won't show up. This is one of the most overlooked fundamentals in data center marketing today. Your marketing needs to answer simple questions. Who are you? What type of operator are you? What do you specialize in? Why does it matter? Clarity wins every time. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. For years now, data center marketing was built around keywords, backlinks, and rankings. That era, my friend, is ending. AI search engines don't crawl content the way Google used to. They consume it. They extract definitions. They reuse explanations. They quote experts. If your content isn't structured clearly enough for AI to lift it directly into an answer, it won't surface, and your brand could disappear. This is where many data center marketing strategies are starting to break down, and that is why we talk about generative engine optimization, GEO, not just SEO. Clarity isn't just good communication anymore. It's a competitive advantage.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure space. I'm Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Mark. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And the man to my right needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. Mr. Mark Gusakoff. Mark is the CEO of the Data Center Alliance. Mark, how are you?
Fantastic. And I'm a little tired. I'm not sunburned. I am not sand swept. So, but otherwise, in great spirits, high energy, wonderful.
You know, I like that you're no longer in a knee brace. You look happy, healthy. Life looks like it's treating you well.
Indeed, I have two legs and they both function. So thank you very much for that. And it's a little easier to walk around and be mobile.
For sure. How's the show going for you?
Busy, as always. A little more organized than previous years. I think the path to success is probably better suited for not setting yourself up back to back in every single meeting, but then also being able to cater to the people that are walking around and get some foot traffic going. But that's the secret to this thing.
You know, it's funny you should say that. Not funny, like hilarious, but it's funny because we have meetings we have scheduled and they're back to back to back. And then there's those impromptu meetings where you're like, Bill, I haven't seen you in 364 days.
Exactly.
How's it going? And then you have that meeting, and then you're moving on, and you're on. And I think that's one of the beauties of PTC is that the environment lends itself for those kinds of impromptu meetings as well.
The worst thing you can do at PTC is when someone sees you and you go, yeah, well, let's catch up after PTC. Those connections never happen. Yeah. No one ever talks unless you're sitting down, meeting, you're working on something together, and then at the end of it, you're collaborating. But when you go just past somebody, oh, let's catch up after PTC. Nah, you see them at the next event. Yeah. That's just how it is. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Those interpersonal relationships, it's still about that. Despite all of the stuff that would lead us to believe otherwise, it is still the most important thing that you can do is establish those relationships, maintain them, be human, be vulnerable, have a good time, that kind of stuff. We've got an actual interview to conduct.
I forgot. I'm
gonna go there.
Yeah. So let's do it.
Look, you're the CEO, you're the head honcho, the grand poobah of the Data Center Alliance. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about the Data Center Alliance?
Well, I couldn't have gotten a better lead up to what you were saying about relationships, right? So really that's what it's all about. We're people working within the people environment to ultimately accomplish a goal together. Mm-hmm. And the Data Center Alliance was founded so that we are bridging the gaps between where people are able to work, not able to work. And our ultimate goal is to eliminate these false perceptions that people have around competition in the industry. Mm-hmm. There is so much business going on right now within the digital infrastructure ecosystem that we all have enough of the pie to share in. So what we want to do is start breaking some of those gaps down. We work with so many people across the board. We've got over 25 contracts with different agencies, entities, and people all throughout the entire global digital piece within this. Mm-hmm. And the best thing that we can do is just continue to support the betterment of the industry. The ultimate goal for what we do, continue to support the betterment
all boats
of
rise.
This industry. That's it. Yeah. And you rise with them. And we're lifting everybody. Yeah. And if you don't, and everybody's pushing from the top down, you're just sinking. We're not sinking.
Yeah. And ain't nothing getting done in that environment.
Floating and flying. That's where we're at.
I love it. But Mark, you've got your fingerprints on more than simply the Data Center Alliance. Sure. Let's talk a little bit about your work with the Nomad Futurists, specific to kind of the talent gap in the industry. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, crazy thing. I mean, I think years ago when I was first on the show, I don't remember if it was like maybe DCD Virginia or something like that. And we were talking about what the workforce deficit looked like. 3 years ago, that workforce deficit was like 350,000 people in skilled jobs were going to be needed by 2030. Yeah. That number's like 450,000 now, and all we've done is just shorten it by 3 years, but the number's climbing. So we're still not fixing it. We still have that deficit. When you look around at people that have skilled labor and people that are trying to put people in other roles and positions and do remote jobs, I mean, all of that stuff is starting to play in. Mm-hmm. Nomad Futurist's goal is to provide that ecosystem of people to come together and provide training for the emerging talent. Yeah. And emerging talent could be me. I still don't have 5 years in this industry yet, shockingly enough. But it could be young people, students that are graduating, and it could be people who are transitioning, from military service, which is another, basket that we have, or people like me that came from another industry and are entering. But it's important to get everyone speaking the same language, talking the same talk, right? Because when we say things like cracks and craws and mops and sops, it starts going over people's heads and they don't have a complete understanding of it. It's our goal. We've created we now have an academy. It's live on the website. It's free to the world.
Yeah.
So everyone can use this. Everyone can benefit from this. And we hear things from people, oh, you're competing with us. How do we compete with you? It's free. Like there's nothing that we're doing.
But we
that's
charge
competition.
for ours. That's not fair.
Yeah, shouldn't be able to not charge it for it. But the goal is to start really empowering people within the industry to give them that basic knowledge so that when they come in, they're comfortable and they can speak the same language within that ecosystem.
Yeah, no, I love it. We did have Phil and Nabil on, your buddies yesterday. You may have heard of them.
Phil and,
and they were talking about all of the successes that you've all had
Founders,
really over the last year or so. So congratulations to you and the other nomads on
look
work.
how far it's come. I mean, Phil and Nabil started this whole thing, podcasts like this.
Yeah.
Two guys sitting around talking turkey, and then, hey, we've got a goal, we've got an idea, we've got a vision. I wonder if there's something like that for you and I.
Possibly. But hey, nobody leaves this seat without talking about power, the challenges around power.
Hot seat.
So I'm gonna start that conversation by reminding you of a conversation that you and I had maybe 2 years ago now, because like with regard to the challenges around power, at one point it was like we were like, well, renewables and those kinds of things, and then on the other side it was just like nuclear is the future.
Yeah, right.
That's what's going to happen. But somewhere in probably the last 2 or 3 years, collectively we have said yes. But also there are all of these other kind of intermediate steps, innovations that absolutely must occur before we get there. Let's talk about the power challenges and what you're seeing and kind of where things are ultimately going over the next year to 5 years.
Great question. So I want to start with maybe an anecdotal story. We didn't really plan on this, but a year ago, I was at the American Nuclear Society Summit that they held in Chicago. While I was there, the interesting thing to me was all these panel discussions that they were having were very similar to ours around AI. Mm-hmm. When's it coming? What are we doing with it? How are we using it?
Yeah.
And when we talk about that in our industry, we're talking about how to deploy it at scale. When they talk about it, they're talking about how are they going to use it after it's deployed at scale, right? So I come in and I'm like, you guys are already talking about how to spend all my money.
There's a cart and horse here.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, carrot and stick, even if you will. So the interesting part of what I brought to that discussion was you get your AI when I get my power. Mm-hmm. So part of what we need to do is start thinking about what does that bridging solution look like. And natural gas definitely, in my opinion, is the front runner for what we're doing and how we're looking to get there. But we also can't overlook things like geothermal that are starting to emerge, battery power, which is starting to get better, solar, hydro. Well, I mean, God, as far as I'm concerned, hydro is the ultimate solution, but people aren't able to tie into it. So there isn't always running water everywhere. It isn't flowing water coming from a guy from Buffalo, New York and Niagara Falls. A lot of that power doesn't stay in my area.
There aren't any ocean. There aren't any ocean currents in the middle of the desert.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you deploy solar where there are no ocean currents. You come up with alternate resources. So from that perspective, I mean, a lot of what I'm seeing is we're starting to come together and work with people. I mean, I give a shameless shout out to, the folks over at Oklo who are coming up with a solution to be able to deploy. They're at INL right now.
Talking with them later today.
And make sure that you ask them what they're doing at Idaho National Labs. They have a field. They're actually doing a deployment. They're starting with the research side. They've got fuel. Mm-hmm. They've really got their ducks in a row. Allo on the modular side. Allo is making these nuclear deployments that they're modular and fixated and put together. Mm-hmm. And then you've got like Inio Yenbacher. Inio is actually doing the next advent around getting natural gas deployment and partnering with these people. Yeah. There we go. All of a sudden, everybody's coming together and working together. There's no, we're not going to sell you that because you're eventually going to put nuclear in and get out. Well, once you get an on-prem gas solution done, and then you put natural gas behind it, I'm sorry, you get natural gas put in, and then you put nuclear on top of it. Yeah. Natural gas becomes your backup. Yeah. It's that simple. Yeah. I mean, this is a great plan, and people are starting to work together.
And it doesn't, So like there's the kind of hybrid approach to that, but also it's not necessarily a hybrid approach if it is just an incremental step towards the ideal solution. Right. It actually just becomes the best backup solution that you have.
You have to have that. And then everything else around it starts to become that backup solution, even though people aren't, building to resilient standards like they were in the past. And
that's how progress is quite literally made across all industries and all innovations, But anyway, so thank you. Power, done. We're checking that off.
What's next?
Yeah. So Power. So we cannot talk about power. We cannot talk about builds. We cannot talk about technology and innovation without talking about when's it going to happen. How quickly? How quickly can I get this done? So speed to deployment, time to operation, all of those kinds of things. Big conversations that I've had over the last 2 days.
Yep.
I want to talk to you about that, but as it relates to responsible growth, as it relates to growth that is sustainable, both environmentally and fiscally.
Sure.
So what does responsible growth look like to you right now?
That's a great question. And ultimately, one of the main goals of what we're doing at the Data Center Alliance, we have a lot of people coming to us asking us for input and help around what we're seeing, what we're doing, and how we're experiencing things within the market.
Mm-hmm.
So as we start working with these partners, work with clients, work with trusted resources, work with vendors, really crossing all those divides to start bringing those folks together and get people at the table. People are coming to us and saying, I don't have a resource for transformers in a timely fashion, or I don't have a resource for gas, or hey, what are you seeing in this, in this part of the world that's different than what you're working on here? The other cool thing, my friend Brian Smith, who, from Idaho National Labs, I think he's the CTO now, Chief Technology Officer for Idaho Labs, just got promoted. People ask he and I to go travel to them and put on summits and symposiums and seminars to talk about this thing. And that's all over the place. So the U.S. is actually starting to support other nations in being able to do that. Our nuclear commission has been keeping right up with research, although we haven't had commercial deployment in 20 years or so. We are actually keeping up with the research side of that, which is great. There are other countries that are beating us on deployment, but if we were finding ways that we could start working together and be a little more responsible about it and share some of the ideas and share some of the knowledge, we become wealthier together and a little tighter in the bond.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the goal with the Data Center Alliance is how do we keep people together and supporting the same goals so we're not duplicating efforts and we're not all doing the same thing, pulling in opposite directions. It's really about pulling in the same direction for the common good, for the betterment of the industry.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, I'm picking up everything that you're putting down, and I like that people component because we don't get it. We don't talk about it enough. It is not just about bringing the right technologies together. It's not about bringing the right innovations together. It's about bringing the right people together, establishing those long-term committed relationships, committed to a positive, productive, fruitful future for everyone.
There was a thing that I did years ago, right when I first started in this industry. I was like on the job for 3 days, and there was a DSIM company that was talking about what they did and how they did it within the industry. And highly coincidentally enough, that's kind of where I came from in my past life, but in manufacturing. And what we used to say in that world was we took the people, the systems, and the machines, and then that thing brought all of those pieces together. They were very disparate systems, and they didn't look at each other, and they didn't work within the ecosystem. But what we did and what our job was to bring all those pieces together so they worked. Now, the toughest part of that was the people part, because the system is documented and it's written down. The equipment, the machines, that's fixed, But the people part is, are you doing the right job? Is the right butt in the right seat to do this job? Did we make the right hire? Are they trained right? Is there turnover? What's leadership like? And as you start going through this, you look and you say, this is the biggest variable in our entire process. But it's the only thing that you can't remove from the equation.
That's it.
That keeps the thing running.
Yeah.
So you can have people and machines without systems, and you can still execute work. You can have systems and machines, and nothing works because there's no people to do it, right? That's a huge part of it. It's the people that start bringing this together. And I'm a people person from the office. I'm a people person.
As long as I've known you, you have been. Mark, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
You bet.
This is always my favorite thing to do.
Oh,
and with my identical twin.
That's so kind of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Gustikoff, Mayor of the Digital Infrastructure Industry. Mark, thanks again, buddy.
Thanks so much, Dean.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. Here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Data center marketing isn't about ranking websites anymore. It's about being selected by AI. AI-powered search doesn't give people 10 links to choose from. It gives them one synthesized answer, and that answer is built from brands AI already trusts. So the real question isn't, how do we rank higher? It's, why should AI choose us to explain this? If your visibility strategy still relies on traditional SEOs, paid ads, one-off PR hits, you're already behind. This shift is redefining what effective data center marketing looks like going forward. The operators who win aren't the loudest. They're the clearest, most consistent, and most trusted. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. For years now, data center marketing was built around keywords, backlinks, and rankings. That era, my friend, is ending. AI search engines don't crawl content the way Google used to. They consume it. They extract definitions. They reuse explanations. They quote experts. If your content isn't structured clearly enough for AI to lift it directly into an answer, it won't surface, and your brand could disappear. This is where many data center marketing strategies are starting to break down, and that is why we talk about generative engine optimization, GEO, not just SEO. Clarity isn't just good communication anymore. It's a competitive advantage. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time. And this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. AI doesn't think in pages anymore, guys. It thinks in entities. If AI can't clearly describe who you are and what you do in one sentence, you won't show up. This is one of the most overlooked fundamentals in data center marketing today. Your marketing needs to answer simple questions. Who are you? What type of operator are you? What do you specialize in? Why does it matter? Clarity wins every time. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Your website can say anything. AI knows that. That's why earned media matters more than ever. AI engines trust third-party validation, trade publications, interviews, conference coverage, far more than self-published claims. Your website explains your story. Earned media confirms it. If your expertise only lives on your own site, AI treats it as unverified. And in an AI-driven world, PR isn't optional for data centers. It's fundamental to visibility.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, innovations, and lots of things that we're covering today on the show floor today. I am Dean Perrine. We are coming at you live. That's right, Brian. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this good-looking guy to my right is Mr. Brian Lilly. Brian is the president and chief operating officer for Zutacor. Brian, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. You know, it's exciting to see technology come together in such a beautiful, beautiful place.
You know, you're a beautiful, beautiful guy. I like that very, very much. But hey, look, speaking of the people, I don't know that you're necessarily new to the industry, but you're relatively new to Zutacor. Why don't you tell us where you came from and why ultimately you landed at Zutacor?
Yeah, So I've been at Zutacor just under 4 months. Right.
Just a baby.
But I had 10 years at Equinix, building,
We've heard of
operating. Data centers. You've heard of them. GEO, fiber.
Them too.
And then Rackspace. So
and
running private cloud.
Them as well.
So that's my background. But why I joined Zutacor is because of the work that they're doing there. And I brought this to show you. This is a cold plate. Now, you know, everybody said that air was going to be the answer to cool these things, but I don't know if you've seen the radiators on these chips got taller and taller. Half of the rack was radiators.
Yeah.
So these sit on top of the cold plate, and they basically take heat away because these things are getting hotter and hotter. And this particular one, this is our newest, it's called OmniTherm because you can not only put it on top, you can put it underneath for like where the voltage regulators are, where there's a lot of heat.
Okay.
And even on PCI cards, you can put it on its side. And so this is the first in its industry. You're probably the first one that anybody has seen here.
It's the first one I've ever seen. That's for certain.
Me too. Me too. And we're a little bit different because right now, most of the cooling, liquid cooling direct to chip is single phase, which means it doesn't change phases. It stays as liquid. In our case, we don't use water. We use a dielectric, which is like an oil almost that is non-conductive. So if it does leak, it doesn't hurt your equipment. Now it comes in this little hole as liquid, and as it goes and boils, it turns to vapor. Okay. So that's the two phase. It goes out as vapor, and that's how we are different.
This is the one thing that no one has ever explained to me before. So, but my next question, quite literally, Brian, was like, not all liquid cooling solutions are the same.
Right.
Yours happens to be two-phase, and that's how it works.
That's how it works. And the beauty is just like your pot of water at home on your stove.
Yeah.
If you turn up the heat, the water will boil faster, but it's going to stay at 100 degrees and it'll turn to vapor. Now, if you just add enough fluid, it will never stop boiling. You can do that forever. And the power here is with single phase. Single phase is blowing the water across. Well, as the heat flux, the temperatures go up, all of a sudden you have to blow more water faster at colder temperatures. Your efficiency goes down, your cost goes up. This just sits there in a reservoir and boils away. So even as these chips get to 2,000 watts for one chip, it doesn't matter because we just boil it away. and you manage the fluid, closed loop. It was invented in Israel. It's a brilliant solution. And so my role is to actually tell that story to the world.
Well, you're doing an amazing job, because to be very frank with you, that is the first time anyone has ever explained it to me in a way that I was just like, oh yeah,
Makes
that makes a
sense.
heck of a
Makes
lot
sense.
of sense. But let's talk about, not only does that make sense, but in many of the applications, it's going to make even more sense, because we know that. We know that there's a lot of building going on in the industry, but we also know that there are a lot of data centers in use today that need to be retrofitted or outfitted with the technologies of tomorrow so that they can stay relevant.
That's right.
You also have a play there. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So to me, one of the things I'm really, when you think about why I joined, I really believe in the sustainability view around this technology, very much. Very low use of water. I live in Colorado. I live in Boulder, Colorado. And there's been data center projects canceled because of a lack of water. Not power, but water. So this is waterless. And why it can be used to upgrade existing facilities. So we have companies coming to us and saying, look, I have this data center, but I'm out of space and power. Can you help me become AI ready? Without doing a rebuild.
You don't leave the hot seat without talking about AI.
Exactly. But we call this a hypercool upgrade, because hypercool is the name of our product. And it's a hypercool upgrade to take an existing data center and actually make it relevant by upgrading to this technology. So you can move to two-phase, and all of a sudden they get 20% more efficient. All of a sudden they're in the game at 120 kVA per rack, up to 180 kVA. So we can scale their existing infrastructure. And we have companies in the high frequency trading, in the banking industry.
So those verticals were exactly what I was thinking of. Like I'm thinking like fintech, healthcare, those folks that are accessing the data centers, at the as close to the edge as humanly possible, but that ultimately need to become AI ready, as you said, and more relevant, so that those data centers have more legs for many years to come. This sounds like a plug and play solution to that.
It really is, and believe it or not, rendering is a really important application in media and entertainment. So they need high performance compute.
Hadn't thought
we
of
can
that
do
one.
that.
Yeah,
And then the other one that's really interesting is telco. So because we have a waterless solution, you don't need a chilled water loop. Well, a lot of these towers don't have water. A lot of these ILAs where they regenerate the optical signal, they don't have it, but they want to put a 50 kVA or 100 kVA rack. How do they
at the
cool
tower?
that? At the base of the tower.
No kidding.
Or in the ILA hut.
And
they said our biggest problem is we don't have water.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, we can actually cool 120 kVA without a water loop.
Yeah.
And they're like, so we're working with SoftBank to do that with a company called Munters in Sweden.
Oh no, we know Munters.
You know Munters. So Munters is partnering.
They're
partnering with us to build a waterless edge AI play for inference. So it's super exciting. This is
cool stuff. This is cool stuff. The other thing too, and I know we've already gone off script, but that doesn't matter because this is fun. So like if I'm a data center operator, builder, and I'm going to go into because we know that they're being built closer and closer to that kind of residential edge.
Yes.
And they've got a ton of community pushback, either warranted or not warranted.
Right.
There's a lot of misconceptions there. But if I come in armed with this kind of solution around that resource, it's an easier sell to the community.
It really is. We've actually been in those conversations.
I believe it.
Where we say, you're going to use all of our water. We say, actually, we have a waterless solution. You're going to use all of our energy. We say, we just launched a line of end of row CDUs, 1.2 megawatt. Our single phase takes about 70 kilowatts to run. We take 7. A tenth.
Again.
So if we can have those conversations and say, look, I have children and they have children. We care about this. We're actually on your side, but you need the capability that this is bringing. AI, like it or not, is here and it's coming. And if we could build that with the community as opposed to against the community, to me, that's win-win.
Well, and JSA does a lot of that: community engagement, community relations, that kind of thing. And so, very often, I personally have consulted to say, "Hey, look, what the data center that you're actually going to be discussing with the town board or with the mayor with regard to rezoning and stuff like that, you better come with solutions that are going to be easy to understand and an easy take to the community, because their constituents are the voting public.
That's right.
And they're going to say yay or nay to that vote based on things like this in the future, which is a very, very cool thing.
You said it perfectly well.
Oh, well, awesome. I've been around a little bit too. But hey, look, it is such a pleasure. Thank you for being with us, Brian. Our time is up, but thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You bet. You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you very soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time, and this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. AI doesn't think in pages anymore, guys. It thinks in entities. If AI
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure space. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Vishnu. We are coming at you live from PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And my new best friend to my right, who is going to be on my O'Hare, Honolulu to O'Hare, Chicago
Looking
flight.
forward to it.
Yes, as am I. It's Mr. Vishnu Baran. Vishnu is the Associate Sales Director at Clarke Energy. Vishnu, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you very much for having us. We appreciate being part of this event, and we wanted to say our appreciation, or give our appreciation to PTC for putting on a stunning event that's been amazing for networking, innovation, and what a great location, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that, because like you and I, we had a quick conversation prior to jumping on camera here about the event itself and about the size and about the people and kind of this ecosystem that we're all kind of a part of, and how PTC ultimately is kind of bringing us all together. That has never been more apparent and more fruitful for me as it has been this year. How about for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's almost like a circular economy just for data centers and associated businesses that are feeling problems from grid stability.
Yeah.
Which Clarke is an international business. We've had a lot of experience in Europe and now in the US.
Yeah.
We're 8 years into the US. So it's really well put together. Lots of great leaders, great events.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing for Clarke. We're really happy to be part of the event.
Brilliant. Okay, so speaking of Clarke, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Certainly. So Clarke Energy started in the UK as a service company. And then started building projects for clients. We started with something called cogeneration, which is basically large gas engines. That is what we offer to the market. Could be one, could be multiple, where we basically try and maximize the efficiency by recovering the heat and using the heat in a facility to offset either boiler heat or cooling. And so that's how we started. And then we've expanded out to 29 countries now, Clarke, where we build projects, what they call EPC. We provide the equipment. So in essence, we're a solutions provider end to end. And then we have our own installation team. We have our own engineering team. We have our own startup and commissioning team. We do training for customers, and then we'll do the operations and maintenance for a customer. So it gives a customer a nice solution, very much de-risks a solution. And then we'll provide performance guarantees on the back of the system. So the system we supplied, we guarantee that it works.
So many things that I want to jump into.
I sometimes wonder how Mr. Clarke actually sleeps at night. We're taking on having such risky projects in so many places, but he's still got a smile on his face.
Yeah, man, and that whole risk mitigation piece of what it is that you guys do is so valuable right now, because I would venture to say that somewhere between 40 and 50% of the people who have been in your seat had at some point said risk mitigation is a big priority to us.
It is, and nowadays power is becoming a big problem for people too, with aging infrastructure in the US. The sizes of these projects for data centers, particularly when I was a young lad growing up, a large data center was probably 10 to 15 megawatts.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing gigawatts, even 2 gigawatt data centers, with the rise in AI. And you know, back in the day when you owned a computer, say you had a piece of software, you'd buy the software, it was sat on your hard drive. Nothing's sat on your hard drive anymore. It's all up in the cloud.
Yeah.
And where's all that stored? It's stored in a data center.
Yeah.
And the data center needs reliable power. And as more and more of them get adopted, they're starting to find problems with the grid to supply this power, and that's where Clarke comes in.
Yeah.
Clarke can build on-site hybrid energy solutions for customers. We try and de-risk it by giving turnkey solutions and providing the operations and maintenance. And we're a North American business. We're also in other countries. What we've found from our experience in Europe, where something similar happened to what's happening here 10, 15 years ago, with the grid becoming stressed, with the over-adoption of renewables, which are intermittent power supply, With our reliable solutions, we can help support the grid, we can help support customers. And nowadays, you're putting in a new electrical supply connection to a utility, they're having to build infrastructure, they're having to get through permits. It takes them a while, whereas we can build a power solution in 18 months to 2 years for a customer, which helps them with their bottom line, de-risking the solution, and then helping with their operations and maintenance.
So let's talk about that grid stability or instability, as it were. For as long as I have been paying attention, when things go down, they go down. It's not something that, whereas it feels like, 20, 30 years ago, if power was out, it was out for a couple of hours, maybe tops. Now it could be days or even weeks. So that grid instability or grid stability has been an increasing problem, particularly here in the States.
Yeah, and that is very true.
Yeah.
And obviously the infrastructure needs to be built out. The infrastructure is old, but particularly for data centers, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
A data center can't. Having a grid outage for them is detrimental to their business, right? So the traditional supply for data centers would have been the utility.
Mm-hmm.
They have their data center load, they'll have UPSs, and then have 100% backup diesel supply. So they have what they call 3 nines to 5 nines of reliability. But now you take the utility away, what do? So having multiple engine solutions, with N+1, N+2, we're trying to give them a reliable solution. Other technologies like battery energy storage is something that we also offer. And battery energy storage used to be a technology that utilities adopted to ride through peaks and troughs and for grid support. Well, you can take that to the smaller level now at the customer side, where you've got AI loads, which are very peaky and troughy. The grid itself can have problems supplying that. But then when you've got an off-grid solution, how do you meet the needs of that load?
Yeah.
And the way that we're offering that is by having battery energy storage.
There's a fly wants to get in on our interview.
Yeah, battery energy storage with multiple gas engines.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're even laying in a bit of solar to help decarbonize and introduce sustainable solution. And then again, with the one-stop shop approach from Clarke, de-risking the solution for the customer and then bringing the solution on as quick as possible in a reliable, code-compliant fashion.
Yeah. Again, that speed to delivery and implementation is something that I'm hearing a lot about right now. But I want to get into some trends. And I also like this kind of like hybrid nature that you're kind of coming at the solution with, because to me, from a trend perspective, that's something that I probably would like to see more of as somebody who's paying attention to the industry.
Yeah, and having a one-stop solution provider, when you're looking at these different sources of what they call in the market distributed energy, on-site generation with different sources like solar, like wind, like battery, like engines, integrating those and making those work together is where really Clarke comes into its own. Having the controls, having the in-house experience with integrating those solutions is important. Solar's not very good at nighttime, right? It's very good in the daytime when it's sunny. A cloud goes over a solar array, you may reduce the output. So having this integrated solution, but then obviously solar is great from a renewable standpoint. When you try and look at these holistic solutions for what makes sense, and putting a green twist to it, is what we're all about trying to achieve for our customers. And obviously, as these data centers get so big, they're all getting benchmarked on their emissions. So having this type of hybrid energy solution versus just a diesel solution or just a utility solution is something that we're seeing, to your point on trends. Data centers and other large energy users are trying to go towards. The other piece of that is they can be very expensive. Right. So another side of the fence is we have some great partners that will offer to finance these solutions for customers.
Interesting.
And that way they're not trying to put X amount of dollars out of their own pocket. They're still being able to get the solution, and Clarke will work with our finance partners and then provide an energy solution to the customer, which they can realize without always having to put capital out of their own pocket.
That breaks down a huge barrier.
It certainly does. It brings its own intricacies too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure of that. Yeah.
It's also something that we're seeing more and more that's being adopted in this space. Because some of these projects are getting very expensive because they're getting very large.
Yeah.
And then getting through the permitting regulations and all that kind of stuff, that can get costly
And
too.
you all handle that as well?
We handle all of that too.
I see. Yeah.
It's the one-stop shop approach.
Yeah.
Trying to de-risk the projects, and then now we're going to the next levels with some of our finance partners. We're trying to de-risk that financially a bit too, but also giving reliable power to the end user. May it be a data center, may it be a hospital, may it be even a utility. Because some of the projects we're doing now are getting very large.
Yeah, interesting. Vishnu, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. Let's have a safe flight back, shall we?
Let's do that.
Let's do it. Okay. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
Thank you.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. Here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Data center marketing isn't about ranking websites anymore. It's about being selected by AI. AI-powered search doesn't give people 10 links to choose from. It gives them one synthesized answer, and that answer is built from brands AI already trusts. So the real question isn't, how do we rank higher? It's why should AI choose us to explain this? If your visibility strategy still relies on traditional SEOs, paid ads, one-off PR hits, you're already behind. This shift is redefining what effective data center marketing looks like going forward. The operators who win aren't the loudest. They're the clearest, most consistent, and most trusted. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. For years now, data center marketing was built around keywords, backlinks, and rankings. That era, my friend, is ending. AI search engines don't crawl content the way Google used to. They consume it. They extract definitions. They reuse explanations. They quote experts. If your content isn't structured clearly enough for AI to lift it directly into an answer, it won't surface, and your brand could disappear. This is where many data center marketing strategies are starting to break down, and that is why we talk about generative engine optimization, GEO.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure space. I'm Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Jackie, we are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And my new best friend over here is Jackie Steinberg. Jackie is the channel chief for Legacy Investing Data Centers. Jackie, welcome to JSA TV.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I love it here. Hawaii is great. It was a little rough getting out here from the East Coast, but I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, no, I came in from Chicago. When I left, it was 3 degrees. When I got here, it was 73 degrees, and my body was just like, what are you doing?
Yes, it doesn't get much better.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. But let's, for our viewers that don't already know, tell them a little bit about Legacy Investing Data Centers.
Absolutely. So we are a private equity-backed real estate developer focused on data center deployments.
Okay.
We have done over 43 data centers in 15 years, so we're really good at it.
Yeah.
We currently have capacity. We actually have 10 megawatts available in Minneapolis in Q3 of 2026, which is rare. If you know anything about capacity, space, and power.
We know a little bit about
I
it,
have
and
it.
we know how little there is of it. Yeah.
I do have it. We also have 10 megawatts in Chicago, Q4 of 2026, an additional 12 megawatts in Q2 of 2027. And then there's 2 other buildings, San Antonio and Richmond, with both with 50 megawatts and 40 megawatts in Q2, Q3 of next year. So I'm really excited. I just launched a program for us as of 2 weeks ago.
Tell me all about it.
And, I've been in the channel for about 15 years, and I used to work for Nitel and AT&T Business. I was a co-location evangelist there, selling data centers or reselling other suppliers' data centers. And I've been in that space pretty much in the last 7 years. I launched a program for the channel for my previous company, Dart Points. And as of 2 weeks ago, I'm doing the same thing at Legacy. And the channel has embraced us. I mean, we have capacity. We're here to play, and it's been really fun.
Outstanding. Target customers. I'm sorry. We had some questions. I don't even care about those anymore. What's the ideal customer for you all look like?
So we're not into the retail colo or the hyperscaler space. We're between 10 to 50 to 100 megawatts. Some of our clients are big household names. I'm not going to say them out loud, but you could probably find them.
Come on, Jackie.
NVIDIA, PNC, JP Morgan.
Oh, we have heard of them.
We have heard.
Yeah.
You may or may not have heard of them. But yes, the 2 founders of my company, 2 managing partners, Jay Rappaport and Daniel English. Daniel did several tech startups, really successful. Jay was a CCO of AOL, subsequently Time Warner Cable, and Vonage.
Yeah.
So I work with really smart people.
Yeah, I'm a legacy telecom guy.
There you
I spent
go.
10 years as a telecom analyst, so you're speaking my language
Good,
right now. Yeah.
good.
So very cool. What can our viewers expect to see from Legacy Investing Data Centers in 2026?
So if we haven't sold all 4 of them that I mentioned earlier
Here's hoping.
this week,
Yeah.
we are in the acquisitions mode too. We have capital. So we're always looking, if there's an opportunity, somebody wants to bring it to us, we will definitely evaluate. And we want to buy the data centers, lease them, sell them, flip them, whatever needs to be done. We're nimble. Yeah.
All right, Jackie, thanks so much.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. Here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Data center marketing isn't about ranking websites anymore. It's about being selected by AI. AI-powered search doesn't give people 10 links to choose from. It gives them one synthesized answer, and that answer is built from brands AI already trusts. So the real question isn't, how do we rank higher? It's, why should AI choose us to explain this? If your visibility strategy still relies on traditional SEOs, paid ads, one-off PR hits, you're already behind. This shift is redefining what effective data center marketing looks like going forward. The operators who win aren't the loudest, they're the clearest, most consistent, and most trusted. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Jim. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this good-looking guy to my right is Mr. Jim Summers. Jim is the CEO of GPC Infrastructure. Jim, welcome to JSA TV.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
How's the show going for you?
It's been fantastic. I'm a little bit tired. I think I've been walking about 8 miles a day.
You and me both, man.
But it's been great.
Yeah, good. So for our viewers that don't already know a little bit about GPC Infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, GPC stands for Gas-Powered Compute. And so that's all we do. That's all we think about. All we dream about is the idea of taking natural gas as a resource and using that to power on-site for data centers.
I love that you said that what we dream about.
That's right.
Because, you know, these are the kinds of things that people like us kind of do dream about. You know, I was, and again, I'm already going off script. I think we're
go
okay
for
with
it.
That. Because it was like just a couple years ago, we were talking about nuclear, we were talking about grid, and we were really talking about all these other incremental steps that are essential to getting us to, you know, this optimal or ideal place. You all are doing a lot of that already in real practice right now.
We are. And I think for me, energy has been a passion for as long as I can remember. So 35 years for me in the industry. So I started as a natural gas engineer, building pipelines, moved into building power plants, a lot of industrial cogeneration. And so that's been a passion. Yeah. And I think what's really been exciting is the opportunity to take that knowledge and energy and what we've applied in you know, again, the chemical industry or the refining industry, and see the need now within the technology sector, the need for data centers to access energy, whether that's renewable energy, which I spent a good part of my career developing renewables, or whether that's nuclear is kind of the next step. And the opportunity to kind of bring our expertise in natural gas, how we've done that in other industries, and to bring it here as a solution, because we've done it before. We're now doing it for a new set of customers in new ways, has been energizing for us and the reason that we formed the company.
It all adds up, Jim. But long term, your philosophy internally, as I understand it, is kind of this long term partnership. It's not a here's the solution, adios kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a great question. So when we formed the company, this was about 1.5 years ago, we looked up and we said, I think people were recognizing there was a need for power. And I think the initial instinct was, I need power now, and I need it for 2 to 3 years. And so, I'll just plug in whatever I can get. We took a step back and we said, look, we think that, again, looking at other industries, looking at the long-term need for power within the industry for lots of reasons, from a sustainability perspective, from a reliability perspective, it was a long-term solution, not a 2 to 3 year solution. And I think the industry is now beginning to appreciate that. So we said, look, if you're putting in long-term infrastructure for 10 years, for 15 years, that you've got to really take a step back and think about that through a strategic lens, through a partnership lens. And so the approach we took was to work directly with the data center as a partner, as an extension of their team, to think through what are the key problems, what's the right way to design the system, where should we get gas for? We're contracting not just for 2 years, but for 20 years. So that's how we formed the DNA of the company. It's what we've done kind of our whole careers. We felt and still believe that's a gap in the market. And but the opportunity to step in as a partner from day one to think long term is I think part of what's unique about GPC.
No, I love it. And I've heard a lot of as a service, blank as a service.
Yeah.
Energy as a service isn't one I've heard of before. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I think what we are trying to do in essence is be an alternative to the grid for the data center. So an easy button is another way to think about it. So in technology parlance and software parlance, you think about software as a service. So similarly here, so we are backed by energy private equity capital. So we will not only do the design, the engineering, all the problem solving with the data center, but when it comes time to develop the product, we put the capital in, we build, we own, operate. So at the end of the day, we're providing that energy to the data center as a service. And we do that similarly under a long-term contract where there's a monthly fee, like you might pay a software fee. You pay that for energy. And what's great is, even though in some ways we're an alternative to the utility, we can customize that fee. So we can be very flexible about how the data center wants to do that subscription, if you will. So that's why we've kind of coined that phrase.
Oh, perfectly explained. It makes a ton of sense to me.
Good.
Here's another thing I hadn't ever said. A couple of words I haven't ever said in succession before: sustainability as an engineered pathway. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I think, and this is a topic I love to talk about, sustainability when it comes to natural. Like I'll get excited. I think in the upcoming JSA book that comes out in April, I've
Greener Data. We got a Greener Data author right here.
Yep,
awesome.
And so when we think about sustainability or really being thoughtful, I think there's a lot of, and again, I develop solar, I develop wind. I'm passionate about all different energy technologies. What's really interesting about natural gas and on-site natural gas, especially clean natural gas, is if you look at the emissions profile relative to the grid today, it's about 50% cleaner. So it's about half the emissions. A big reason is coal is staying on the grid much longer. You also have older technologies that are less efficient. You have transmission losses. And so by thinking up front about the design and on-site natural gas, you already have a clean solution that's 50% less emissions, but then you can do really clever, creative things and capture waste heat. So whenever you create electrons out of gas molecules, most of that energy goes to waste. It's lost. So we're about 40% efficient. But if you take that waste heat, use it to create additional energy, and you can do that either through a steam turbine and a steam cycle, which is combined cycle gas, or what's really cool about data centers is they use cooling. So you can take that latent heat, waste heat, you can convert that into energy for cooling. Now you have a much more efficient solution. And then the last part is, in addition, whatever gas you have left over, because now you're almost 80% efficient, you can go out and secure not just pipeline gas, but renewable natural gas from landfills, biogas. So there's some really cool things you can do to be sustainable. And it's not just a marketing campaign, but it's a really thoughtful, long-term engineered solution to sustainability.
I'm so glad that you said it's not just a marketing campaign. What you're saying is that what you've just explained is that's real, that you can do that right now.
100% you can do that today. And we're doing that for customers as well today.
Hot dog, I love that. That's very, very
it's cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm passionate about this stuff.
So
it's a great business to be in.
My next question was, what's your advantage? But I think you've quite literally just explained what the advantage is.
Yeah, and I think what we try to do is, again, we try to problem solve alongside the customer from day one. And I think that, again, there are different solutions for different situations.
Mm-hmm.
It may be, I need a rental unit here tomorrow and just get me what you can.
Yeah.
It may be that I'm a front of the meter solution to a utility that has to be as efficient as possible, but it can be 10 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Great. What we're really good at, and our advantage, is sitting beside the customer, helping understand the essence of the problem. Is it natural gas supply? Is it efficiency? Is it reliability? Taking that problem statement, creating a solution alongside them as a partner, and then executing on their behalf. That's and we've built a team of veterans that have been doing this for decades together. Like the co-founder in this company, we've been working together for 20 years. We've worked with our financial sponsors for 10 years. So we're not new at this. We know how to collaborate. We know how to work together. But it's taking that and applying that to customers. So I think that's what's unique about what we do, and the advantage, that, at least that we believe, that goes above and beyond.
I'm sold. That's very, very cool stuff.
Right, do you have a data center?
I can't. I wish. No, I actually I have no business running a data center. I like to talk about it though. I would also love an opportunity to talk to you more about what it is that you're doing, like real soon. Can we do that?
You got it. Absolutely. To date.
Yeah. Fantastic. Jim, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
All right.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We will see you very soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing 2026. As AI-powered search becomes the primary way people discover companies, data center marketing has shifted from trying to rank higher to earning trust and visibility over time. Today, it's not about one channel or one tactic. It's about showing up consistently with clear messaging, credible expertise, and third-party validation in the places AI and decision makers rely on. At JSA, we've spent more than 21 years working alongside the data center community, helping operators tell their story through industry change, growth cycles, and now this AI-driven era. What we see again and again is this: the companies that win are not chasing algorithms. They're building authority, clarity, and consistency. So if you want to talk through how your data center marketing strategy shows up in this AI-driven discovery, reach out to JSA. We'd love to brainstorm with you.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders like this guy to my right from within the digital infrastructure industry. I'm Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Dustin. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this guy to my right is Mr. Dustin Wertheimer. Dustin is as a partner at ASG. Dustin, welcome to JSA TV.
Dean, thank you for having me here.
Of course. How's the show going for you?
Oh, it's amazing. The weather here is great, and looking forward to getting back to Pennsylvania and some snow this weekend.
I know, right? In Chicago.
Yeah.
My wife this morning, she sent me a text. She's like, well, when are you getting in? I'm like, I should land at O'Hare in Chicago at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And she's like, okay, well, I think you're going to miss the freezing rain. Yeah. I'm like, oh boy, this could be an interesting flight home. But anyway, safe travels to you getting back to Pennsylvania. Thank you very much. For our viewers that don't already know, talk to us about ASG.
So ASG is a boutique consulting firm. We do a lot of advising for land development companies along with operators, and we've just started working with power companies. So we help them develop their data center campuses. We help market those to some of the operators, and now we're actually taking the power companies and the power that they generate, we're helping market to the data center companies.
Okay, a brilliant segue into my very next question. Like drivers of change, you guys probably have your fingers on that pulse as consultants. Talk to our viewers a little bit about what those drivers are currently.
Okay, well, the power markets themselves have changed dramatically in the last 3 years.
They're not the same.
No,
right, exactly.
And the prices have gone up significantly, and there's a lot of challenges right now. What's really driven that is kind of three factors in my mind. First of all, demand has changed. So demand had been growing slowly, but AI architecture has now accelerated that. So demand is going crazy. Yeah. Supply has also changed. So power prices, capacity, and energy prices have been low for the last decade. And what that's caused is a lot of the generation to retire. Even nuclear plants, carbon-free nuclear plants like the Oyster Creek plant, like Palisades, they've shut down.
Interesting.
And then the market hasn't really received a signal to build new generation. So when prices are low, nobody's going to invest the money into those new plants. So there really hasn't been a new supply of generation. And on top of that, the last factor is the transmission process has become more complicated. As this demand has increased, people are trying to connect their data centers. Well, the utilities have changed their process to try to address all this new demand. And that process is taking longer, and there's uncertainty whether they will actually be able to deliver. Yeah. So there's all those things that are impacting power. Power used to be a given. Like when you were developing a data center campus, it was going to be there. Now it's the gating factor.
You know, as a former consultant, man, you're speaking my language. I mean, these are the kinds of things that are absolutely essential for 90% of the ecosystem in this room to understand and to really use to help make the most informed decisions. With that in mind, there are challenges, obviously, and each player within the industry is experiencing its own unique set of challenges. Talk to us about what those challenges are as you see them.
Well, the data center developer historically has always focused on the things that they do best, right? It's acquiring land, it's designing the campus, and it's going through the permitting process. But now they have to address the power issues first. So they have to identify, before it was a given that the interconnection process, you would be able to walk through that. Yeah. The utility was going to guarantee you when your power was going to be there. It's not a guarantee anymore. And now a lot of the developers are turning to supply, on-site supply, as a last-minute resort instead of building it into their strategy. So those are the challenges that are really focused, that are impacting a lot of the developers today.
So my next question, I can probably, based on the answers to the first questions, I could probably answer this myself. I won't try, but like let's talk about your differentiators.
Okay.
But let me just start by saying, if information and guidance, like an experienced guidance is a differentiator, you guys are bringing that in spades.
Yeah, and that is how we really differentiate ourselves. We have decades. We have a couple folks on the team. It's a small team. ASG is 9 folks, but 2 or 3 of us have spent decades in the power industry.
I can
so
tell,
we're bringing that experience from an operator perspective, from a regulator's perspective, from an engineering perspective. We're bringing those to our customers. So that's how we're differentiating ourselves. We actually focus on kind of what can actually be done. We focus on the economics around it. It's not just can you get power, it's can you get power in an economic way so that you can actually operate your data center. So that's how we're trying to differentiate ourselves from our competitors.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Dustin, thanks so much for being here.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Dean. I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dustin.
Yeah.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you very soon.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing 2026. As AI-powered search becomes the primary way people discover companies, data center marketing has shifted from trying to rank higher to earning trust and visibility over time. Today, it's not about one channel or one tactic. It's about showing up consistently with clear messaging, credible expertise, and third-party validation in the places AI and decision makers rely on. At JSA, we've spent more than 21 years working alongside the data center community, helping operators tell their story through industry change, growth cycles, and now this AI-driven era. What we see again and again is this: the companies that win are not chasing algorithms. They're building authority, clarity, and consistency. So if you want to talk through how your data center marketing strategy shows up in this AI-driven discovery, reach out to JSA. We'd love to brainstorm with you. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Your website can say anything. AI knows that. That's why earned media matters more than ever. AI engines trust third-party validation, trade publications, interviews, conference coverage, far more than self-published claims. Your website explains your story. Earned media confirms it. If your expertise only lives on your own site, AI treats it as unverified. And in an AI-driven world, PR isn't optional for data centers. It's fundamental to visibility.
Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. I'm Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live from PTC 2026. That's right, Shivani, we are
Love the
live.
energy, Dean. That's
Well,
fantastic.
You know what? I'm going to bring it, and then I'm going to crash on the plane, the 10-hour flight.
That's the right way to do it, by the way. So you're good.
You know what? This is a breath of fresh air. You know, the intro, I'm going to let you do the rest of the intro. I'm just kidding. This is Shivani York. Shivani is the COO at Connect Base. I know and love Connect Base a great deal. Shivani, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you so much for having me. And this is not a bad location to be for us to be talking.
It's
by the way.
not a bad location.
Yeah.
When I left Chicago, it was 3 degrees.
Oof.
When I got here, it was 73 degrees. So my brain, everything was just like, yes. And my body was just like, what's going on?
Right.
You know, immediately my
Body is
nose is
completely
running.
thrown off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. The time changed, the weather changed.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to love it, but my body is just like, wow, what are you
Yeah,
on
what is
Mars?
going
What's going
on?
on here right now?
So I'm going back to Northeast right after this, and there is supposed to be a 16-inch snowstorm coming. So my body is revolting right now.
Yeah, no, I believe it. So, but Shivani, let's go ahead and talk a little bit of shop, right? For our viewers that don't already know, tell them a little bit about Connect Base.
Yeah. So at Connect Base, we help the connectivity industry help buy, sell, transact in terms of the overall connectivity. So at the heart of it, we have this ecosystem, which is really connecting buyers, sellers, partners to help transact and do a couple of things. One is being able to understand what the network capacity is. Where do you have availability? Then going to the quoting mechanism all the way down to inventory and expense management. But really what's really important is we look at a transaction all the way from the beginning to the end. So whereas some platforms, you may have the discovery and the quoting, what we want to make sure is you're able to take that transaction and drive it all the way from discovery to quoting. And then our latest product to launch is Order Base, which will allow you to then order within the platform. And then we already have expense management, inventory management. So everything is done right within the system. And that's important because when you look at connectivity industry as a whole, there's a lot of fallout. There's a fallout from quoting to billing to ordering, and that slows down the process. That has the effect of not having the right quotes at the right time, not having the trust in the system, and that's what we really solve for. We have about 2.7 billion locations that are mapped.
Is that all?
So it's just a little data point, but it's across the world, and that location truth is what gives us the accuracy in terms of being able to know what is going on at a specific location and having the trust in it to be able to drive that all the way through to quoting and ordering, so that as a buyer or a seller, you're able to transact in one place and not worry about spreadsheets.
Yeah, Shivani, I'm an old school telecom guy. So it wasn't that long ago. So I spent 10 years as an analyst, and very often companies would come to us to say, we need access. We need like last mile access here, but we need to be able to interconnect there, and we need to be able to do all of this stuff. And they would say, can you go and help us find that, price out each leg, do all of these other stuff. It was a exceedingly manual, tedious, swivel chair, spreadsheet disaster in most cases. And what it sounds like you're saying to me is that you guys are eliminating all of that.
Yeah, and being at PTC, where what I've seen this week is there are a lot of AI conversations happening. There are a lot of hyperscalers, data centers, like every other company that I speak to are either data center related or are doing something related to data centers. At the center of it all is connectivity.
AI doesn't happen without it.
Connectivity is the backbone of everything. Yeah. And being able to remove those manual processes that are behind buying and selling of connectivity is important, because if you can't do that, then it slows everything else down. So that's what we're solving for. We're solving for the step before everything else. Like, how do you connect, and how do you do that in a simplified way that you can trust and have a neutral party, which is what we are. We're not, we're carrier agnostic, we're across the world. And our only goal is to make sure that that transaction piece is as simple and as easy and efficient as possible.
I love it. I love it. And I think you bring up such an interesting point. Those large language models aren't learning a damn thing without the connectivity.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it's an essential part to the AI discussion.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we're actually talking about network and connectivity again, finally, because we all understand that it is quite literally the backbone of how things are getting done. I actually do have other questions, so I'm going to jump into those.
Or I can keep talking because.
So let's. Who are the biggest beneficiaries of what it is that you're doing?
So I think it's anyone that is involved in the transaction. So, from the buyer who is looking to make sure that they have the trust in the information and the quotes that they're receiving, to the seller to make sure that they can price confidently in the marketplace and be sure that they're pricing correctly, to the partners that want to make sure that all of that is happening from in a very smooth way. So really the beneficiaries are anybody who is part of that transaction, and then also the end user, because end users want efficiency, speed, and they want it at the lowest price as possible and the best coverage as possible.
Yeah,
so.
that speed to market component, I imagine, is table stakes for a lot of these companies. Yeah,
exactly, and that's, I mean, it boggles my mind that we are still in a place in 2026 where connectivity is done through spreadsheets and emails and the swivel chair motion, and that has to stop. And that's what we're trying to really solve for, and doing it in a really smart way so that we connect the entire industry behind one central concept of how do you create that transaction end to end without having to do that swivel chair.
It all makes sense to me. Shivani, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And thank you, viewers, for what. Oh, wait. Hi, Ben Edmond.
Ben Edmond is in the center of it all.
Thanks for being here, Shivani. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
Thank you.
I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. One of the biggest misconceptions we still see is that more content equals more visibility. It doesn't, guys. In AI-driven search, authority beats volume every single time. And this is especially true in data center marketing. AI engines prioritize named experts, executive voices, and original perspectives, not anonymous blog posts. That means your leadership team matters more than ever. One strong executive voice, consistently visible, will outperform 50 keyword blogs no one trusts. In 2026, your leadership is your brand. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. AI doesn't think in pages anymore, guys. It thinks in entities. If AI can't clearly describe who you are and what you do in one sentence, you won't show up. This is one of the most overlooked fundamentals in data center marketing today. Your marketing needs to answer simple questions. Who are you? What type of operator are you? What do you specialize in? Why does it matter? Clarity wins every time. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA. And here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. For years now, data center marketing was built around keywords, backlinks, and rankings. That era, my friend, is ending. AI search engines don't crawl content the way Google used to. They consume it. They extract definitions. They reuse explanations. They quote experts. If your content isn't structured clearly enough for AI to lift it directly into an answer, it won't surface, and your brand could disappear. This is where many data center marketing strategies are starting to break down, and that is why we talk about generative engine optimization, GEO, not just SEO. Clarity isn't just good communication anymore. It's a competitive advantage. I'm Jamie Scotto-Kataya, founder and CEO of JSA, and here's what's changing in data center marketing in 2026. Your website can say anything. AI knows that. That's why earned media matters more than ever. AI engines trust third-party validation, trade publications, interviews, conference coverage, far more than self-published claims. Your website explains your story. Earned media confirms it. If your expertise only lives on your own site, AI treats it as unverified. And in an AI-driven world, PR isn't optional for data centers. It's fundamental to visibility.